If part 1 showed us how humans began to honor the dead, part 2 reveals what happens when the dead become rulers. This is Cults of the Dead, Part 2, Ancestors, Sacrifice, and Power. Ancestor worship is universal. In China, daily incense keeps the spirits of forefathers alive. In India, offerings of rice, ghee, and fruit feed the souls of the departed. Among the Ashanti of West Africa, stools become sacred, blackened, no longer to be sat on, now seats for spirits. In many traditions, the dead are not just remembered, they are participants. They judge. They bless. They punish. Farmer in Ghana sprinkles yam and says, "Grandfather, you once hoed here, now I hoe here too." Without the blessing of the dead, the land itself might rebel. Among the Toraja people of Indonesia, the dead remain in the house for months or years after death. They're dressed, spoken to, and brought meals as if still alive. Only when the family can afford an elaborate funeral does the corpse finally depart escorted with music, ritual, and buffalo sacrifice. For kings and emperors, death was not retirement. It was elevation. Pharaohs became gods. Chinese rulers were buried with chariots, horses, and sometimes hundreds of sacrificed humans. In the royal tombs of ancient Ur, queens were buried with harpists, guards and ladies in waiting, each ritually poisoned to accompany her. One harpist was found slumped over her instrument, lips parted, as if still mid-song. In Japan, families place food, incense, and flowers on home altars called butsudan. During Obon, lanterns guide spirits home for a visit. At the end of the festival, floating lanterns are released on rivers and seas, helping the spirits find their way back to the other world. Scythians buried kings with gold, weapons, and living concubines, strangled to follow him into death. A year later, 50 servants and horses were also sacrificed, their bodies impaled to stand guard for eternity. Many cultures, the dead demanded more than prayers. they demanded people. In Dahomey, captives were killed to serve dead monarchs. Among the Aztecs, blood fed the sun. The Aztecs believed that only human blood could nourish the gods. Hearts were torn from the chests of sacrificial victims while still beating. Skulls were placed on zompantli, huge racks by the temples, creating a visual wall of the dead as an offering to the divine. In India, widows once burned on their husbands' pyres in an act of ritual suicide called sati. Even in secular societies, we remember the dead with ritual. Lenin lies in state. Christian saints rest in cathedrals. Statues, shrines, gravestones, they are all echoes of the cult. In some cultures, the dead return, reborn into the clan, watching over the living. Among the Mernjin of Australia, spirits return to sacred wells, awaiting their rebirth. In Vietnam, homes often contain an ancestor altar where incense, wine, and paper offerings are made. These paper items, shoes, money, even cell phones, are burned, believed to materialize in the spirit realm. One's great-grandfather might be walking the afterlife with a paper Mercedes-Benz. The dead are offered food and drink, but they consume only the essence. Their hunger is different now. What we give them is not meat or wine, but memory. Respect. And fear. Across the world, the dead are not silent. They are fed, bathed, sung to, and feared. They demand space in our homes, in our fields, and in our dreams. Because no matter where you live, you live among the dead. From painted skulls to digital tombs, we still try to reach across the veil. To ask the dead for blessings. To keep them at bay. To remember, and to be remembered. Because one day, we will join them. The cults of the dead endure. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. See you next time, here at This Is It.